In the dimly lit corridors outside Aldrich's chambers, Schuyler approached Aldrich, her heart racing with uncertainty. Aldrich stood tall and imposing, his mind fixed on distant thoughts. The tension between them was palpable.
Your Majesty, you summoned me?
Yes, Schuyler. I have a matter of some delicacy to discuss. Aldrich's voice was calm, yet there was an undercurrent of something cold. Schuyler felt a chill run down her spine, wondering what secrets lay behind his words. I have been remiss in not seeking your company since your arrival. You have adapted well to your new role?
Yes. The court sorcerer and the maid you assigned have been most accommodating.
Good. And the coin I send, it finds its way to your hands?
It does. Your generosity is appreciated.
Schuyler could not help but feel a sense of relief, yet also a growing curiosity about the true purpose of this unexpected summons. There is another matter. Bronwyn, you remember her fondly, do you not?
Bronwyn? Yes, of course.
I would have you present her with a gift. In your name, not mine.
A gift? But why not from you directly?
It is a matter of delicate politics. Our relationship since the divorce has been strained. You understand?
I do. What sort of gift?
That I will leave to your discretion. Choose wisely.
And how shall I deliver this gift?
You will accompany the next delegation to the Western Empire. It will give you an opportunity to see Bronwyn and to serve our interests there.
I understand.
As Schuyler gazed into Aldrich's eyes, a realization dawned upon her. This was more than a simple errand. It was a test. With a nod of understanding, Schuyler turned to leave, her mind racing with plans and possibilities. She couldn't help but think, was this truly the reason she was brought here? Schuyler pondered Aldrich's words as she navigated the labyrinthine corridors of the palace, her mind a whirlwind of doubts and questions.
Why the concern for Bronwyn now? And what of Rose and these rumours?
Lost in her thoughts, Schuyler barely noticed her surroundings until a venomous whisper interrupted her reverie. Schuyler's gaze shifted sharply towards the source of the insult. There, on the grand staircase, stood William and Martha, Rose's false parents, their eyes gleaming with malice.
What is a despicable person such as yourself doing here, near the king's room no less? Well, I see there are more serpents in the garden. She pollutes these halls with her presence, William.
Though their words were whispers, they were meant to cut deep. Schuyler felt a flare of anger, knowing she could make them disappear in an instant if she wanted to.
The apple truly doesn't fall far from the tree. You know, maybe your daughter ran away.
With a disdainful glance, Schuyler turned, walking away with her head held high. Martha and William were shocked. Did she reference their true daughter? Or was she referring to Rose when she had left for mooring? Schuyler knew better than to engage with them in such petty squabbles. Their disdain was like a badge of honor. As she walked away, Schuyler's mind returned to Aldrich's request. In the shadow of Elisaria's halls, Julian, the commoner's scribe, lurked like a ghost, his heart heavy with worry. His days and nights merged into a singular quest to uncover the truth about his missing sister, Cheryl. The palace, with its high walls and guarded secrets, seemed to mock his desperation. But today, Julian's resolve was about to be tested. He searched out Viscountess Amelia in the halls. "Are you, by any chance, Viscountess Amelia?"
Yes, I am. And who might you be?
"I am Julian, brother to Cheryl. She spoke often of you, Viscountess Amelia. Tell me, have you news of her? It's been weeks since she seemingly vanished." In the shadowed corridor, Julian's plea echoed with a desperation that cut through the stillness. Viscountess Amelia, her back turned, paused, but did not face him.
Are you the scribe?
"Yes, that's right. I want to know about my younger sister. Cheryl was so grateful for how much you helped her. I know you two worked closely together. Perhaps you can tell me why my sister suddenly disappeared." His voice trembled with a mix of hope and fear. Viscountess Amelia remained still for a moment. She was frightened.
I cannot help you. Speak of this to no one. Be gone.
"You must understand. I cannot rest until I know. My sister's fate consumes me." Julian stepped closer, his eyes searching for any flicker of compassion.
Then you are a fool. Seeking truths in this place will lead you to a grave, not to any answers.
Amelia turned away, her eyes meeting Julian's for a fleeting moment, filled with an unspoken warning. "If there is danger, I must face it. For my sister's sake, please help me."
There are ears in these walls and eyes in the shadows. Speak more and you risk everything. Leave this place for your own sake.
Julian, his eyes brimming with tears, pursued Viscountess Amelia through the dimly lit corridors of the castle, his heart pounding with desperation. The stone walls echoed his ragged breaths, each step a testament to his growing fear. "Please, Viscountess Amelia, I implore you, tell me of my sister's fate. You do not need to join my quest. Just grant me the knowledge you possess. I will tell no one." Viscountess Amelia, her pace swift as a shadow in the night, halted abruptly. Her back still turned to Julian, she seemed like a statue carved from uncertainty. Julian thought to himself, "Has my despair reached her heart? Does she, too, feel the weight of my sorrow?" Slowly, Viscountess Amelia turned around, her gaze piercing Julian like a blade. In the depths of her eyes, a storm of hesitation raged. "By the gods, I beg of you!" Her voice, when it came, was laced with a fear that chilled the very air.
Speaking of such matters threatens my life. The truth is a dangerous companion in these troubled times.
Julian felt a cold shiver run down his spine. "What terror grips you so? Speak! I beg of you!" Viscountess Amelia's expression darkened like a storm cloud, her eyes reflecting a tumultuous sea of conflict.
In this world, appearances deceive. Trust not what your eyes see, but question the unseen.
"What riddle is this? Explain for the sake of my sister!"
Heed my words, Julian. The most treacherous enemy often wears the guise of a trusted ally. That is all I can say.
Stunned, Julian stood frozen, his mind racing to unravel Viscountess Amelia's cryptic warning. With a final, lingering look that spoke of unspoken fears and secrets, Viscountess Amelia vanished into the shadows, leaving Julian alone with his thoughts and the echoing darkness of the corridor. Viscountess Amelia, during a brief respite from the palace's intrigues, visited the library, a sanctuary of knowledge that beckoned her with its silent call. She held the book she had borrowed clasped in her hands. Her thoughts were as tumultuous as the sea during a storm. Intent on returning the book to its rightful place amidst the labyrinth of shelves, Viscountess Amelia moved through the library's hallowed halls. There, amidst the towering rows of ancient wisdom, stood Aldrich, his presence as commanding as the stone pillars that held the vaulted ceiling.
Your Majesty, I have returned.
Her voice was a delicate leaf in the wind as she handed him the book.
I have done as you commanded.
Aldrich, his gaze as penetrating as a falcon's, took the book with a nod, his response brief, yet laden with meaning. Well done. Viscountess Amelia's fear of Rose was like a silent spectre that haunted her every step. Trust was a luxury she could ill afford, where a single misstep could lead to ruin. Viscountess Amelia was a pragmatist, her allegiance given not to the unpredictable Rose, but to Aldrich. The king noticed her distress and tried to calm her. As long as you follow my commands, you shall remain unscathed. Aldrich put his hand to her cheek, caressing it gently. The gesture chilled Viscountess Amelia to her bone. In those last words lay both a promise and a threat. Dawn's first light crept through the shabby window of the inn in Compshire, casting a pale glow on Oscar as he stirred in his sleep. Cedrica hovered nearby. She couldn't believe she had him all to herself. She was more enamored with Oscar than ever. She gently stroked his brown hair and bit her lower lip as she glanced down toward the sheets covering his waist. Would she be caught if she took a peek? She slowly reached down. At that moment, he began opening his eyes. She turned back to him, her hand hiding behind her back. The face that greeted him in his awakening was a haunting echo of the moment before darkness had claimed him. Yet Cedrica was beautiful in his eyes. The woman had bested him. Oscar's head throbbed with a dull ache, a reminder of his abrupt descent into unconsciousness. Where am I? How did I get here? His gaze wandered, taking in the sparse furnishings of the room, a stark contrast to the grandeur of the palace.
Sir Oscar, you fainted. I brought you to this inn to recover.
And who is my saviour in this unexpected plight?
It was me, Sir Oscar.
You brought me here yourself?
Yes, I wouldn't leave your side.
Because Bronwyn is my sister?
Well, yes, and because... Never mind. I'm just glad you're feeling better.
Cedrica's eyes met his. She bashfully turned away.
Forgive me, Sir Oscar. I had no idea how frail you were. A grave error on my part.
How frail I was?
Yes. It is dishonourable to prey upon the one weaker than yourself. My apologies. Please forgive me.
Oscar remained silent. Within, a turmoil of thoughts wrestled, whether to admit his own lapse in vigilance or to let the misconception stand. A smile, unbidden, graced Oscar's lips, a silent acknowledgement of this strange twist of fate. Cedrica, her shoulders hunched in trepidation, caught sight of Oscar's smile. For a fleeting moment, she stood transfixed, as if the sun had broken through a storm cloud, illuminating dark waters with a glimmer of light. As the silence stretched between them, a sudden thirst seized Cedrica. She moved with haste, reaching for the water jug resting upon the table, its contents a small oasis in the desert of her anxiety. In her mind, doubt and confusion danced. How could a knight of Oscar's caliber succumb to unconsciousness from a mere graze of her spear? But the sight of his enigmatic smile seemed to offer an explanation, albeit one tinged with a touch of humor. She thought,
His delicate constitution must surely be the price of such striking features.
Oscar, meanwhile, observed with widening eyes as Cedrica tackled a water jug with a thirst akin to a warrior's hunger after battle.
Are you truly intent on draining that vessel in a single draught?
Cedrica didn't hear him, and had finished every drop. Realizing his gaze might be deemed impertinent, Oscar quickly averted his eyes, feigning a sudden interest in the room's modest decor. Oscar suddenly realized he was fascinated by this girl. Or was it something more?
That evening, I summoned Lady Maloney to my corridors. I wanted to hear directly from her about the report on Red. Thank you for coming on such short notice, Lady Maloney. I hope you were not busy. No, Your Majesty, I was nearby. Matilda brought in wine. A small ritual to provide a moment of calm before the business at hand resumed. So, Lady Maloney, the task I gave you, the report on Red, was a test, a stage for you to showcase your abilities. Your Majesty, I'm sorry for what's happened. The report, it was I who copied it. But why? I believed you to be a spirit similar to Lady Nadine's, unyielding and proud. Why would you imitate another's work? I was driven by anger, Your Majesty. Anger? Directed towards whom? My father. He discovered my rivalry with Carlyle and chose to aid him instead of me. I see. Your father's hand tipped the scales. But why let such actions sway your own path? It was more than mere favoritism. My father's intervention was a clear message. He wants Carlyle to triumph over me. So, in the heat of your wrath, you mirrored Carlyle's work, abandoning your own vision. I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I have failed in your expectations. No, it is not your error that intrigues me. It is the oversight of Marquis Ames. Marquis Ames is a man of considerable acumen and experience. For him to miss such glaring errors in a report, it strikes me as more than a mere oversight. Your Majesty? There are two paths before us. One where your father covertly supports Catherine, or the other where he intentionally misguides Carlyle, hoping you will outshine him. It is likely the former. My father would not stoop to deceive Carlyle for my sake. Do you find me a disappointment, Your Majesty? Am I disappointed? Yes. To see potential swayed by emotion rather than reason is indeed a letdown. Yet our alliance remains unbroken. A single misstep does not undo the path we walk together. I feared that my failure might dissolve our bond, that I had become a burden rather than an ally. It is not the way of a true leader to clutch at hands only in times of need and cast them aside when their use wanes. Lady Maloney, I shall provide you another stage, a chance to display your true prowess. The challenge is yours to accept and conquer. Yes, I will. Do not let your anger towards Carlyle cloud your judgment next time. Focus on your own strengths. Yes, thank you, Your Majesty.
In Henry's office, a wave of triumph erupted as news of victory reached the ears of the king through Haxon. Oscar's triumph over the Eternal Thousand Bandits brings not only peace, but adoration from the people. Oscar is a hero in their eyes, celebrated in every village. Upon his return, I wish to bestow upon him the title of the first Golden Knight, a fitting honor. Don't you think, Haxon? The Golden Knight was a new title Henry created, awarded only to knights who displayed unusual loyalty and excellence. A decision none can counter, Your Majesty. Oscar's valor and loyalty shine brightly.
Would elevating Viscount Langdell to a Golden Knight be too overt a gesture?
That is a harder pill to swallow. The court may view such a move unfavorably.
You believe so?
Yes, Your Majesty. Despite his achievements, it is known he had attempted to assassinate the Queen of Elisaria.
Ah, yes. It's amusing to think, Haxon, that I may have given him the title if only he had succeeded.
In the royal bedroom, Henry and I sat quietly with a glass of wine in the evening. I'm glad to hear that my brother managed to deal with the Eternal Thousand Bandits.
That's not all. I plan to honor your brother with the title of Golden Knight, a distinction I created upon my ascent to the throne.
Won't there be those who oppose this decision?
Perhaps. But consider the suffering the Eternal Thousand Bandits have inflicted upon other realms, as well as our own. Your brother's actions have spared all of them from continued turmoil. Oh, how could I have forgotten? One moment, my queen.
Excusing himself, Henry left the room, only to return with a mysterious bottle in hand.
What's that?
A gift from Grand Duke Bjorn. An apology for past events. This is a prized liquor from Rhett, favored by their royal family.
As he presented the bottle, the foreign script and royal emblem of Rat gleamed under the flickering candlelight. Bjorn's efforts to atone are relentless. First the Catherine situation and the ghost, and now this gift.
Let us drink together, my queen.
Right now? Henry, with a flourish of anticipation, readied 2 glasses, uncorked the bottle, and poured the golden liquor, its hue like captured sunlight. The colour is captivating.
Indeed, it is.
I took a tentative sip. The flavour was unexpectedly sweet. It's delicious.
Yes, it is.
Henry, clearly enjoying the drink, finished his glass with a contented sigh. We both felt the effects rather quickly. He pulled me by my arm to the bed. I wrapped my legs around his body and pulled him close. I had never felt so drunk with passion. I kissed his neck as he thrust his body on top of mine. The anticipation alone could lead me to climax. But this was just the beginning. As we became more and more ravenous for each other, the world faded. I clutched a half-torn pillow, feathers dancing in the air like snowflakes in a winter breeze. Disoriented, I cast the pillow aside, the feathers fluttering about, adding to the surreal scene. I momentarily forgot where I was, then realized that I was alone. What happened? In the room where the presence of the magic stone bed was usually a comfort, I tried to piece together the fragments of a night that had slipped away. But then, amidst the tangled sheets, a glint of gold caught my eye, a curious anomaly in the fabric of our shared bed. What's this? Is that Majesty? Did Henry transform under the influence of that liquor from Duke Bjorn? That is too funny, and how utterly adorable. With a gentle yet swift motion, I scooped up Majesty, cradling him. The warmth and familiarity of him brought much comfort. I put him down on my lap. A thought hit me like a ton of bricks. Had Bjorn sent this potion to trap him in this form?
Through the bustling streets of Elisaria, whispers and rumors slithered like a serpent, carrying a tale of shock and disbelief.
Can you believe it? A maid dared to strike the Empress with a chair. Has the world gone mad?
No sane person would commit such an act. It's beyond comprehension. Absolutely no common sense. I heard she's the daughter of a condemned prisoner, taken in by the Queen out of pity. Such ingratitude.
To repay kindness with violence. It's despicable.
The rumor spread like wildfire, casting a shadow over the maid's character. Yet a renowned scribe took a bold stance, publishing a pamphlet that starkly contrasted public opinion. Rose read the article, horrified.
From concubine to queen, a trail of expelled maids. For reasons varied and concerning, several maids serving Queen Rose have departed, one after the other. There is one thing their stories have in common. None of the maids left of their own volition. Contrast this with the former Queen of Elisaria, Bronwyn, now the Queen of the Western Empire. During her reign, only 2 maids left, both for personal, punitive reasons. What then fuels the turmoil under Rose? Is it a reflection of her commoner past, a trait she shares with her maids? Or does the root lie deeper, in a personality even her closest attendants cannot endure?
Rose closed the pamphlet.
Your Majesty, look at this!
Aldrich, taking the paper from Rose, scanned the article quickly. His expression turned pensive. It seems the scribe behind this piece harbors a deep anger.
Which scribe are you referring to?
Isn't he the brother of the maid you imprisoned? The same scribe who sought an audience with you?
Is this the commoner scribe who begged for his sister's whereabouts?
Rose shivered as memories of the pleading journalist resurfaced. His desperate eyes haunted her thoughts.
Could this be his way of avenging his sister's disappearance?
Rose, her mind racing with fear and uncertainty, drew closer to Aldrich, seeking guidance and intervention.
Your Majesty, please. We must stop him from writing such articles. It could tarnish my image irreparably.
He is a man driven by resentment. Cornering him might only escalate matters. It's best to leave him be.
Leave him be? Are you certain?
This is an exaggerated narrative, lacking solid evidence. It's like a beehive. Best not to disturb it. In time, if unprovoked, the rumor will lose its sting and fade. Rose, considering Aldrich's words, found them logically sound, yet a seed of doubt had been planted in her heart. Once she would have followed Aldrich's counsel without a second thought, but now shadows of mistrust crept into her mind. He had cast aside Bronwyn for her. Perhaps his waning interest was due to Schuyler's emergence. Rose, troubled and seeking counsel, headed off to seek Duke Elegy without saying a word. Aldrich, informed of where she went, found himself caught between anger and despair. So, Rose seeks Duke Elegy's wisdom now over mine.
What are you going to do, Your Majesty?
Nothing. Let her be. It's her way of finding solace, I suppose. For Aldrich, the greater concern lay elsewhere. The health of our child is paramount. If Rosa's endeavors, her hobbies, bring her peace, then so be it. Within the grandeur of Liberty Mansion, a family reunion unfolded, the air filled with tales and laughter. Carlyle, his heart light with the joy of reuniting with his family, eagerly shared his recent experiences, including the task assigned to him by the Queen. His words, light and unburdened, abruptly shifted the atmosphere as Duke Liberty's expression darkened into a mask of solemn contemplation. Carlyle's eldest brother, Victor, weighed in as well. "Father, what is it? Have I misspoken? Or does my undertaking of the Queen's task displease you?" Duke Liberty, collecting his thoughts, spoke, his words veering in an unexpected direction. "Should the opportunity arise again, be more observant and more precise. Earn the Queen's trust." "What do you mean?" "Father means for you to align with the Queen's faction." "Are you serious?" The notion seemed incongruous to Carlyle, given his father and brother's known stance towards the Queen. "The Queen's peculiar test was not for your benefit, but likely for Lady Mulaney's. Yet it's the outcome that matters in the end." "But I've heard Lady Mulaney hasn't had any dealings with the Queen either." Duke Liberty, his face breaking into a broad smile, stroked Carlyle's hair in a paternal gesture, a symbol of approval. "If you outshine Lady Mulaney, you will gain the Queen's trust. She values pragmatism." Carlyle nodded. "Do what you must to align with the Queen." "But then I'll be walking a path divergent from yours and my brother's, won't I?" Duke Liberty, his laughter echoing in the chamber, dispelled the somber mood. "No. By playing this hand, our family remains secure, regardless of which side prevails or falls." The laughter faded as Carlyle exited the room. Duke Liberty's expression hardened as he turned to Victor, the air thick with urgency. "Our family ship is riddled with holes. We must either repair it or sink. Aid your brother. He may be our last hope." "Wouldn't it be wiser to openly side with the Queen now?" "The Queen will never fully trust us if we switch sides now. We must bide our time, not show our hand too soon." Duke Liberty produced an envelope from his breast pocket and handed it to Victor. "Look at this." "What is it?" "A letter from Catherine containing what she learned from Rose." "The letter speaks of Bronwyn's divorce and the Queen's infertility. Father, this is a potentially explosive revelation. First, we must verify its truth. Caution is paramount. If we are caught, it could amount to treason." "Yes, Father." "Send someone discreet to Queen Rose. We need confirmation." Schuyler nervously entered Aldrich's office. She couldn't help but wonder if the king had unearthed her deception, pretending to be favored by him to incite Rose to jealousy. Schuyler felt anxious, but was relieved as soon as Aldrich began to speak. "Have you found a suitable gift for Bronwyn yet?"
"Yes, Your Majesty."
"Excellent. It would be too conspicuous for you to show up in the Celestial Isles suddenly, so it's best to wait. I'll be sending a delegation to attend King Henry's birthday party. I'll call upon you then.
I understand, Your Majesty.
With that, Schuyler exited his office and headed back towards her quarters in the southern palace. But she was becoming increasingly curious. She was still puzzled as to why the king had asked her to select the gift and deliver it on his behalf. Was it genuinely necessary to go to all that trouble to give Bronwyn a gift?
Didn't Aldrich divorce Bronwyn because he loves Rose? Then why does he care so much about Bronwyn now? Could it be guilt?
She had initially assumed that Aldrich was so enamored with Rose that he couldn't bear to be apart from her. However, rumours circulating in the royal palace suggested otherwise. There were whispers that Aldrich did not hold the second queen in high regard.
Then why the divorce? I paced back and forth in my chambers restlessly. Henry had still not awakened from the night before. Majesty's form was inert on the bed, his beak slightly open. He looked more like a corpse than a living creature. Henry. Henry? Henry! My attempts to rouse him proved futile. I cradled Majesty, panic settling in. Should I call the palace doctor? No, I can't. Henry isn't himself right now. The doctor cannot see him in this form. But then it dawned on me. Haxon. Haxon was also capable of avian transformation. He would know how to tend to Henry's avian injuries. Matilda, fetch Haxon quickly! I impatiently paced until Haxon arrived, who began sniggering upon seeing the situation.
Oh, my, His Majesty is drunk. He tends to morph into a bird when intoxicated. Leave him. He'll wake on his own.
I had never been so embarrassed in my life. I cradled my husband, who had turned into a drunk bird. What had my life become? I couldn't help but laugh as well. Thank you, Haxon. I feel greatly relieved. Haxon left, and I brought Henry back to our shared bed and waited for him to waken. I watched the soft rise and fall of his golden chest. I'm falling deeper for Henry each day. You have so many secrets, Henry. Loving you will not be easy. Just as Haxon promised, Henry woke up 3 hours later. Henry transformed back into his true self, and even disheveled, he was breathtaking. My stomach churned. I was so afraid to suffer because of my love for him. I wanted to keep him protected, but it was becoming more and more difficult.
I am so embarrassed.
Don't be.
It didn't bother you. I got so drunk that I turned into a bird.
Better than an angry dog. We both laughed at that.
My strangeness doesn't make you want to run away.
He held my hand firmly and stroked the back of it with his thumb, but he wore a very worried expression. Absolutely not. I didn't know how to ease his mind. I love you, but I only want to love you in moderation. Should I say that? I didn't want to hurt him. I just wanted to hold something back so I wouldn't get swept away by the current. Unable to resist the impulse, I kissed him. I touched his soft blonde hair and stroked it, tilting my head and resting my forehead against his. You're so beautiful, Henry.
My queen, Bronwyn.
When I slipped my hand under the sheets and onto his chest and bit his earlobe, Henry let out a low moan. I slowly moved my hands down towards his pants as I caressed his entire body. Spread your legs. But before I could reach my treasure, Henry tightened his legs and turned around. What's wrong?
I wonder whether you will yearn for me if I deny you my body.
Let the games begin.
The sun climbed higher in the sky, heralding a day of social engagements. Queen Rose prepared herself for the party in her room, a ritual of elegance and courtly grace. Attending to her appearance, she carefully arranged her hair and chose a dress that offered comfort for her advancing pregnancy. Her condition was evident in her every movement. The heaviness of her body, the numbness in her legs, and the swelling of her limbs, all constant reminders of the life growing within her.
My baby, it seems you will be joining us soon.
Lately, her thoughts often wandered to the unborn child's gender. She was initially indifferent, but her circumstances now lent urgency to her hopes for a son. In Elisaria, where tradition and lineage reigned supreme, the birth of a male heir would secure a future for both herself and her child. Amidst these reflections, a knock at the door interrupted her thoughts.
Your Majesty, a knight entrusted me with this envelope for you.
Rose's maid, Kaya, held out an envelope. Rose's curiosity was piqued.
He also requested a reply and compensated me for delivering this. How much did he give you? A substantial amount, Your Majesty.
Rose broke the seal of the envelope. Kaya, a silent witness, stood by. By now, Rose had become adept at reading. She quickly scanned the contents of the letter. A smile, both of joy and a hint of mischief, played upon her lips.
Is it good news, Your Majesty? It's amusing news.
Rose, letter in hand, approached her desk. She prepared to pen a response, her thoughts clear and focused.
If Aldrich had not believed in Bronwyn's infertility, he would never have divorced her to marry me. His actions alone are proof of her inability to bear a child.
The act of writing the response brought a peculiar sense of enjoyment to Rose. She paused, her pen hovering over the paper, then added a final, seemingly kinder sentence.
But let us not judge hastily on assumptions. Bronwyn has the qualities of a great queen, and it would be unfair for her to be cornered by uncertainties.
Sealing her response with her official mark, she handed the envelope to the waiting Kaya. Viscountess Amelia resumed her task of combing Rose's hair, the rhythmic strokes accompanied by Rose's humming, a melody of contentment and intrigue. However, the serenity of the moment was short-lived. At the party, the conversation was inevitably drawn to the topic of Rose's imminent childbirth. The atmosphere shifted dramatically when a nobleman, his voice laced with concern, began to speak. "When the baby is born, I pray it will grow strong." The words, though seemingly innocuous, carried an undercurrent of ill will, a subtle curse cloaked in a wish. "The Troby family has long stood loyal to the imperial family, but their loyalty to the next royal is not guaranteed, nor likely." Rose, her heart sinking, stared at the speaker. His words, a blatant challenge to her unborn child's future, stung like venom. "Well, it's a complex relationship to navigate, but I'm sure the king can handle it." Despite the nobleman's backpedaling, Rose's mood remained sour. The truth of their words gnawed at her. She knew the Troby family's disdain for her would likely extend to her child, whether as crown prince or king. Their influence in high society, though not in government, was formidable. And then there was Marquise Faring. Young, rebellious, holding a grudge against Rose for his friend Oscar's exile. His support for her child seemed an impossibility. As the tea party continued, Rose began to think about ways to uproot these weeds before they were allowed to spread. Back in the solitude of her room, the echoes of the party's veiled threats lingered in Rose's mind. She knew the path that lay ahead.
I've already crossed many lines to survive in this palace. A few more for the sake of my child will be no different. I vow to protect my baby at any cost.
Her determination steeled her for the battles ahead. Driven by desperation and determination, she summoned Viscount Rothescue's nameless mercenary, a shadowy figure known for his lethal skills. The mercenary arrived promptly, a testament to his profession's grim efficiency.
I hear you're the right person for a job. You kill for coin, is that correct?
Yes.
And you have killed nobles?
Killing nobles, commoners, there's no difference in death.
Rose found a grim satisfaction in his words. Her mind was made up.
Then I want you to eliminate Duke and Duchess Troby.
Queen Bronwyn's parents?
Yes. They're currently in the Western Empire, but will return soon. There's no need to hurry. Just be sure they're dead before my child is born.
Killing the Duke and Duchess will cost more. The risk and difficulty are higher.
Money is no object.
10,000 coins, then. It's not just one, but two. They are high-profile targets, heavily guarded. It's not a simple task.
Then 10,000 coins it shall be. Do what must be done.
As you command, Your Majesty. One more thing. Is there a method you desire?
A method?
People hire me for many reasons. There's often a purpose behind it. I can assume a matter such as this one involves a personal touch.
It needs to send a message. If you threaten my child, you'll be faced with a gruesome end. Make it painful.
It will be done. After the deed is finished, I will vanish. The Troby family will seek vengeance and Bronwyn will pursue me. 10,000 coins is a small price for a life gambled in this way. You will see me again.
As the mercenary left, Rose found herself frozen. 10,000 coins. The amount echoed in her thoughts, a daunting figure. Seeking funds from Baron Lant was not an option. His inquisitive nature would demand explanations for a sum that large. That she could not afford to give. Once again, Rose decided to turn to Duke Elegy. Duke Elegy, ever playing the ally, extended his hand with a reassuring smile as Rose entered his room. "Of course I'll assist you. You will repay me in due course, won't you?" As their eyes met, a moment of unspoken communication passed between them. Rose slowly walked towards him, lifting her dress over her right leg.
Duke Elegy, I have long admired you. You are maybe the most handsome man in Elisaria. I am glad I met Aldrich, if only to get closer to you.
You are a symbol of beauty, my queen. Rose stood over Duke Elegy, seductively sitting down on his lap. He placed his hands on her thighs. She lowered her face, her lips hovering just inches away from his. If God were to walk amongst us, he would only wish to be as enchanting as you. Rose smiled wide, then kissed Duke Elegy on his lips, the heat between them erupting. She turned to the couch as he mounted her.
I sat in my royal chambers with my ladies, Laura and Julia. I knew it was time I shared additional details about Henry and I. They were fascinated, intrigued to hear about the level of intimacy between us. We were interrupted by a sudden knock at the door. "I'll get it." Moments later, Laura returned. "Your Majesty, Grand Duke Bjorn has arrived. Can you ask him to return later? He insists it's urgent." "Let him in, then. I must attend to this. I just hope I can keep my composure with him."
In the languid atmosphere of Elisaria's market district, 3 young noblewomen found themselves without any gossip to talk about. There had been no new scandals in high society as of late. Liliana Rothescue, a young lady known for her reflective nature, broke the silence with a question that seemed to come from a place deep within.
"Have any of you ever been in a romantic relationship?"
Lady Alice looked at Liliana with an inquisitive gaze.
"Is there someone you've taken a liking to?"
Lady Alice, once Laura's confidant, now found companionship with Liliana in the absence of her old friend.
"No, there's no one. I was just curious. But why bring up romantic relationships out of the blue?"
Lady Anne, Liliana's friend who had been silently observing the exchange, spoke up with a seriousness uncharacteristic of her usual frivolous conversations.
"Perhaps Liliana is expressing a longing for something more than just these endless empty gatherings. Maybe her question is not about a specific person, but about the idea of love itself. Romantic entanglements before marriage can lead to unsavory rumors, Liliana. One must be cautious." "I know, but sometimes what is necessary goes beyond social norms." "Is this about securing a marriage, then?" "To an extent, yes."
Lady Alice and Anne, their curiosity ignited, pressed further, eager to uncover the identity of Liliana's prospective suitor.
"Who could it be? Who's caught your eye, Liliana? Is it someone your father disapproves of? If not, perhaps he could arrange the match."
Liliana's expression tightened. The truth of her ambitions, to entangle the king himself in her web, not for love, but for revenge, was a secret too perilous to share.
"That's not possible. I've attempted to catch the man's attention, but he seems indifferent to me." "Is it a matter of age, then, perhaps? Are you too old or too young for his tastes?" "He's older, but not by a significant margin." "Your vibrancy and energy are strengths, Liliana. You must showcase them." "But how?" "Perhaps display your prowess in sports. Make a grand show of your archery skills at a hunting event." "No, I have no relevant skills in sports." "Then perhaps horseback riding. It could make you appear graceful and powerful." I appreciate the thought, but this matter is something different. Excuse me, I'd like to walk alone for now."
Parting from her friends, the weight of her unfulfilled ambitions returned. She chastised herself for allowing the conversation to drift so far from her original intentions.
How did we stray so far from the matter at hand?
Walking alone, her steps carried her closer to home, but a sudden, unsettling sensation caused her to pause.
"Is someone there?"
The street, still bustling with passers-by, offered no clear indication that she was being followed, yet the feeling of unease lingered. Liliana resumed walking, trying to shake off the unsettling feeling. However, only a few steps later, the sense of being pursued returned, more tangible than before. She halted again, her gaze sweeping over her surroundings. The faces of the passers-by, a mundane tapestry of the city's life, offered no evidence of a pursuer.
"Is this just my imagination?"
But as she turned to continue her journey, a chilling realization gripped her. The faces of the passers-by were the same faces she had seen before. a repeating loop of pedestrians in a nightmarish echo. Panic surged through her, her skin prickling with goosebumps. Without a second thought, Liliana bolted, her footsteps echoing her fear. Behind her, the passers-by ceased their movement, their collective gaze following her fleeing form. A synchronized and eerie stillness fell over them. That evening marked the last time Liliana was seen.
I met with Grand Duke Bjorn in my chambers, making sure to keep Henry at bay.
I'm sorry, Your Majesty. It's difficult to speak to you like this.
Am I not speaking plainly enough?
Indeed, but I hear your inner voice simultaneously. It's quite distracting. Regardless of what you say, whatever you're trying to keep from me will overshadow it. To answer your unspoken question, one of our first 3 trade teams has been detained in Whitmond.
The news struck me like a thunderbolt, obliterating all other thoughts. Was there an incident or provocation?
The specifics are unclear. My subordinate, who was to lead them, fell ill and arrived late. By then, the team had already been detained.
I must speak with Henry immediately. This is a matter that transcends my sole authority. The situation demanded immediate attention. The detention of the trade team in Whitmond presented a new and complex challenge. It was a situation that called for a delicate diplomacy and strategic navigation, especially given the Western Empire's unique geographical and military posture. The port of Whitmond, leased over 2 decades, stood as a crucial gateway for expeditions to Red. The detainment of the trade team, which we expected to yield fruitful results, cast a shadow of uncertainty over the trade agreement, as well as potential diplomatic strife. As I hastened toward Henry's office, questions whirled in my mind. The arrest of the trade team in the port of a long-time ally was baffling. Upon reaching his office, I was greeted by an unexpected scene. Henry emerged with a grave expression, accompanied by Haxon, whose serious demeanor mirrored the situation's severity.
My queen, I was just coming to find you. Have you heard about Whitmond?
Yes, but the trade team's arrest is inexplicable. Is it true they've no idea why they're being held?
Yes, that's correct. The team members are in the dark about the reasons for their detention.
In the bustling streets of the city, where the din of everyday life formed a vibrant backdrop, Aldrich, cloaked in the guise of a commoner, walked with purpose. A covert mission guided his steps. The Knight Commander, ever watchful, followed discreetly, blending into the crowd while keeping a vigilant eye on Aldrich. Their journey halted in front of a store with a large glass window, which revealed a striking painting within. The Knight Commander, following Aldrich's gaze, let out a silent sigh. The painting featured none other than the former queen. Aldrich was transfixed by the painting and stepped into the store. As soon as Aldrich entered, he removed his hood. The shopkeeper recognized him at once.
Welcome, welcome! I am so pleased to have His Majesty in my presence. Please allow me to help you with anything you may need.
After greeting the king, the shopkeeper, experienced in dealing with nobility, wisely chose to remain silent, allowing Aldrich to peruse the store undisturbed. He was aware that high-status individuals often preferred to be left to their own devices. Aldrich's attention was entirely captivated by the painting of Bronwyn. In the portrait, Bronwyn sat regally in a red dress, her expression one of indifference. What caught Aldrich off guard, however, was his own likeness depicted in the painting, lying in repose on Bronwyn's lap. The Knight Commander ran to his side.
Your Majesty, are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine. Aldrich, in a bid to quell the turmoil within, waved off the Knight Commander's concern and pressed a hand to his chest. The sight of the painting, a vivid reminder of his former wife, sent a chill down his spine. A visceral reaction to memories he'd struggled to forget. Leaving the store in an attempt to escape the flood of emotions, Aldrich halted abruptly. He turned back, the decision made. "Sell me that painting." The shopkeeper, taken aback, had never intended to sell the painting. It was meant as a talisman of good fortune for the shop.
"That painting is very expensive."
"The price does not matter." Aldrich, with a gesture of finality, handed over a pouch of coins. He instructed the Knight Commander to shroud the painting in black cloth and transport it to his bedroom in the palace. Once back at the palace, following the day's covert mission, Aldrich sent for the Knight Commander and inquired about the painting. "And what has become of the painting?" "It's in your Majesty's bedroom, awaiting your instructions for its placement. Have it hung where I can gaze upon it. Then please leave me." "Yes, Your Majesty." Alone, Aldrich sat on the edge of his bed, his eyes fixed on the painting. The depiction of Bronwyn, so real and tangible, evoked a maelstrom of emotions within him. Aldrich cursed under his breath. The painting, a reminder of the time filled with pain and struggle, stirred up feelings he believed were long subdued. His mind drifted to a day long past, a moment of shared laughter and warmth under the open sky within the imperial palace. A memory of lying on Bronwyn's lap, the playful exchanges, her laughter echoing in his ears. It all came rushing back with an intensity that overwhelmed him. The laughter in his memory morphed into a sharp ache. His eyes tightened as tears began to silently descend down his cheeks. "What does this mean? And why now?" Through tear-stained eyes, Aldrich noticed something in the painting that unsettled him further. Bronwyn's gaze. Her eyes, rather than meeting his, were directed elsewhere, as if captivated by something beyond the canvas. "What are you looking at, Bronwyn?" The silence from the painted Bronwyn only deepened Aldrich's sense of loss and yearning. "Bronwyn, please don't look away. Look at me." Aldrich, kneeling before the painting, pressed his forehead against the fabric of Bronwyn's painted dress, consumed by a torrent of grief and longing. "Bronwyn, I miss you. I want to see you. Please come back. I've made a grave mistake." In the quiet hours before dawn, when introspection weighs most heavily, Aldrich laid in his bed. The tumult of his emotions gradually gave way to a deep sense of regret. The sobs subsided, which left him to confront the impulsive decision that brought the painting of Bronwyn back into his private world. This was foolish. How many eyes will see this painting? What have I exposed? Under the covers, Aldrich made a silent promise to himself to remove the painting come morning, a decision made in the hope of regaining some semblance of control over his emotions and privacy. However, as the new day came, Aldrich's actions belied his nocturnal vow. Instead of removing the painting, he found himself summoning the palace painter. The painter arrived, uncertainty etched on his face as Aldrich pointed to the painting. His command was clear and unexpected. "Change the direction of Bronwyn's gaze in the painting. Make her look at me." The painter, taken aback, hesitated. The task was unusual. "You mean you want to have Lady Bronwyn looking directly at the viewer, Your Majesty?" "Yes." With a respectful nod, the painter stepped back to begin the task, while Aldrich settled on the bed. His gaze returned to the painting. As he watched the painter work, Aldrich found a strange comfort in the thought of Bronwyn's painted eyes meeting his own.
In the heart of the palace, a crucial meeting unfolded. Henry, Haxon, and I were engaged in a rigorous discussion with various officials about the unsettling incident in Whitmond. The conversation stretched out over several hours. Has there been any incident, however minor, that might have been perceived negatively by Whitmond?
As far as we know, there has been no cause for conflict.
And the Whitmond ambassador? Has he shed any light on the situation?
He's as baffled as we are, and is currently liaising with his Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
It's possible the team unknowingly committed an infraction. We must consider all angles.
The worst-case scenario is that Whitman's actions are a reaction to our self-proclamation as the Western Empire. If so, this could escalate into a significant diplomatic crisis.
Indeed. Marquis Kerridge, we need to understand Whitman's perspective on this matter.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Grand Duke Bjorn, ensure your subordinate remains vigilant and keeps us informed.
I will ensure it.
As the meeting concluded, Marquis Kerridge departed swiftly with his entourage. Watching his retreating figure, doubt crept into my mind. Henry, perceptive as ever, stood beside me, seemingly reading my thoughts.
I don't believe Kentridge would be so careless as to interfere in this matter.
The Marquis might have believed it to be a calculated risk, given his loyalty to Catherine.
I am sure he understands the gravity of the situation.
Henry knew Kentridge far better than I did. I trusted Henry's judgment, but did not trust Marquis Kerridge. Seeing the suspicion in my eyes, Henry squeezed my hand and looked at me with a soulful expression. Grand Duke Bjorn, witnessing this, appeared startled.
I will excuse myself.
The Grand Duke was uncomfortable by Henry's show of affection. I prayed his jealousy wouldn't turn into a confrontation.